Julia, and I wanted to touch on one of the other codes, and that's code two, building your power pattern. And I really like this aspect because I have my own book coming out, and I talk about the mindset shifts that we need to make if we want to change the life that we're leading. And one of those mindset shifts is that we need to become I call it a perspective harnesser. And what I'm really talking about in this chapter is cognitive reframing or cognitive restructuring, because oftentimes we see things like adversity or trauma, but, and it could be as we're going into holiday season, something like going over to a relative's house that brings out anxiety for you. But the way I have learned to think about these things is that trying times, whatever they are, and they're like a rubber band that you can expand and then move back. Can you talk about maybe building your power pattern through what I just brought up? And how does someone implement a power pattern to reshape their mindset?
Absolutely. So the idea of a power pattern is so vital because the brain is, in fact, a pattern detection machine. It's moving us in patterns. And to be direct with you, it's moving us really in emotional patterns. So for a pattern detection machine would go apple, fill in the blank. What comes next? Well, apple. But the way the human system is moving through space and time is we're really moving based on these emotional patterns. So let me give you some. So I hope we all have patterns that are, some of us feel like whenever we go to a party, like we're going to meet someone interesting, and so every time we go to a party, so I hope we have positive patterns, but I'm going to talk about some of the more painful patterns. So we have a pattern that sounds like this, and people should choose their own. I'm just going to give a few examples. I can never get what I want. I can never get what I want. I can never get what I want. Now there's a new situation. I've changed jobs. I've changed relationships. I'm about to build a business, whatever. And I promise the brain will recreate the pattern. This is why New Year's resolutions, change management and organization, changing relationships doesn't change how we feel, because the thing that's making us feel how we feel is actually our feelings. So if we keep looking at a situation to change feeling, it's not going to happen. Okay, so I'm still in a situation where I've had this pattern where I can't get what I want. Things never work out for me. Things never work out for me. Things never work out for me. Or here's one: people just don't understand me. People just don't understand me. People just don't understand me. Okay. So let's say I'm someone who is, I want to be an entrepreneur. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I do a lot of leadership coaching in this space. These people are wildly creative. Well, the more creative we are, oftentimes, people don't get it. That's in a way what it kind of means to be creative. Like if I say, here's a coffee cup, and then I just recreate the coffee cup, that's not really that creative, right? It's like I just mimic the exact same thing. So a lot of times when we are creative, we get a lot of no's because people are like, I don't really get that. I don't really get that. In my own experience, talking about emotion in this way, especially like I did a lot of international humanitarian aid, a lot of international development. I was really interested in the psychology of international conflict. And a lot of people were like, that's interesting, but give me a break. It's not gonna be the thing. So I got a lot of no's. So if you say every time I get a no, or I can only take three no's, and then I'm going to give up all my power, I'm going to give up my ownership of my own life, I'm going to give up ownership of my own vision. That's very dangerous. It's very crushing, I think, to the human spirit. So, how can I come up with, if people, I have to come up with a way to interpret my reality in a way that empowers me. So instead of saying people don't all understand me, what if we could say, as entrepreneurs, for example, I am ahead of my time. And then it gives everyone permission. So if you don't understand me, I don't have to get so offended. We don't have to ruin the relationship. I don't have to quit my dreams. I just get to say, well, actually, let's say the power pattern is I am a pioneer. If I truly am a pioneer, oh, everyone else hasn't been on these roads before. It's my job to explore and clear and come back and explain. And I forgive them for not understanding places they've never been to. See, so it's the exact same situational outcome. Me being creative, other people not getting it, me being a pioneer, other people not getting it, me being an entrepreneur, other people not getting it. And then how do we handle that dissonance in a way that really allows us to work in these pattern efficient ways?